I arrived home earlier than usual that Thursday, the day my life was turned upside down. It was a crisp autumn afternoon, the kind that makes you appreciate the warmth of home after a long day's work. As I pulled into the driveway, I noticed something immediately amiss: the absence of Sarah's car. Normally, she would be home by this hour, preparing dinner or catching up on her latest book in our cozy living room. With a slight frown creasing my forehead, I parked the car and grabbed my briefcase, hurrying inside. Maybe she had a last-minute errand or an unplanned meeting at work, but when I stepped into the house, the silence greeted me like an unwelcome guest. The familiar scent of vanilla candles and the soft glow of evening light failed to calm the knot of unease forming in my stomach. "Sarah?" I called out, setting down my briefcase on the hallway table. There was no response. My footsteps echoed lightly on the hardwood floor as I moved through the rooms, checking for any sign of her presence. A note, her phone left behind, anything. Finding nothing out of place, I hesitated briefly before reaching for her phone on the kitchen counter. Scrolling through the recent calls, my heart skipped a beat when I noticed a number that appeared repeatedly over the past few days, a number I didn't recognize. I dialed it without a second thought, my mind racing through scenarios that ranged from mundane explanations to more unsettling possibilities. The phone rang several times before a man's voice answered cautiously. "Hello. Hi, this is Mark. I'm calling about Sarah. Is this Jake?" There was a brief pause on the other end of the line, followed by a hesitant reply. Yeah. Sarah mentioned you. Is everything okay?" I felt a mix of relief and confusion hearing his name. Sarah had indeed mentioned a Jake before, someone she met at the support group meeting she started attending a few months ago. She had assured me he was helping her through her struggles with alcohol, a struggle I hadn't fully understood until recently. I'm not sure," I admitted, trying to keep my voice steady. "I came home and she's not here. Her car's gone too." Jake's tone shifted to one of concern. "Oh, I haven't seen her today." She left the meeting early, said she had some errands to run. Errands. It could be that simple, I thought, though a lingering unease persisted. "Okay, thanks," I said, ending the call abruptly. My mind raced with possibilities, none of them comforting. Was this another relapse? Had something happened to her on the way home? I sank into a chair at the kitchen table, staring blankly out the window. Sarah had struggled with alcohol for years, but lately, she seemed to be making real progress. The support group had become her lifeline, a place where she found understanding and solace. I had been cautiously optimistic, hoping she had finally turned a corner. As minutes ticked by, the worry gnawed at me until I couldn't sit still any longer. I grabbed my phone again, this time calling her workplace. The receptionist confirmed my fears. Sarah hadn't been in since lunch. Panic began to rise within me, and I dialed Jake's number once more, desperate for any clue. This time, he didn't answer. I left a terse message, my voice strained with worry. "Jake, it's Mark again. Please, if you know anything about where Sarah might be, just let me know. It's urgent." I paced the kitchen, a whirlwind of emotions raging inside me. Fear, anger, confusion. What if something terrible had happened to her? What if she had relapsed and was now somewhere, lost and alone? Minutes stretched into an agonizing hour before my phone finally buzzed with a text message. It was from Jake. "Mark, I'm really sorry, I just found out. I'll explain. Can we meet?" The text was cryptic, but it offered a sliver of hope. I hastily replied with a terse, "Where?" And within minutes, Jake sent back an address, a local coffee shop not far from our home. Grabbing my jacket, I rushed out the door, my mind racing with 1,000 questions and a sickening dread settling in my gut. What had Jake found out? What was he going to tell me? The drive to the coffee shop felt endless, each traffic light and turn dragging out the suspense. When I finally pulled into the parking lot, I saw Jake waiting at a corner table by the window, his expression somber as he watched me approach. I sat down heavily across from him, my gaze searching his face for answers. "Where is she, Jake? What's going on?" Jake took a deep breath, his eyes meeting mine with a mixture of guilt and regret. "Mark, there's something you need to know about Sarah and me." Chapter 2, Jake hesitated. his eyes shifting uncomfortably before he finally spoke. Mark, I never meant for any of this to happen. His words hit me like a physical blow, and I struggled to maintain my composure.
What do you mean, Jake?
Where is Sarah? He glanced around the coffee shop as if searching for the right words. Sarah and I. We've grown close over the past few months. She's been coming to the meetings regularly, and we connected. His admission felt like a betrayal, each word carving deeper into my already wounded heart. Connected? What does that mean, Jake? Are you telling me she's with you? Jake nodded, his expression pained. Yes, Mark. I didn't plan for any of this. It just happened. She was vulnerable, struggling with her addiction, and I was there to support her. But things changed between yous. The room seemed to blur around me as his words sank in. Sarah, my wife, whom I loved and trusted, had found solace and comfort in the arms of another man, a man she met at a support group I had encouraged her to join. Anger, hurt, and confusion battled for dominance inside me. How long? I managed to choke out the question, though I feared the answer. Jake sighed heavily. It started innocently enough, just talking after meetings, sharing experiences. But then, feelings developed. We didn't plan for it, Mark. I swear to you. My hands clenched into fists under the table, my mind struggling to process the enormity of what he was telling me. And now, where is she now, Jake? Jake hesitated again, his gaze dropping to the table. She's with me. We decided to get away for a few days, clear our heads, figure things out, I repeated bitterly. So, you're together. She's with you. Jake nodded, his voice barely above a whisper.
I'm sorry, Mark. I know this is a lot to take on.
A bitter laugh escaped my lips, devoid of any humor. You have no idea. The weight of his confession pressed down on me, suffocating any rational thought. Sarah, my Sarah, whom I had vowed to love and cherish, had turned to another man for support. Support I had failed to provide. The guilt mixed with rage, a toxic cocktail that threatened to consume me whole. How could you do this, Jake? I demanded, my voice trembling with suppressed emotion. How could you betray me like this? How could she? Jake flinched at my words, his own guilt written plainly on his face. Mark, I never wanted to hurt you. Sarah, she needed someone. And two, I was there for her. It just happened. And now you're together, I said flatly, more statement than question. He nodded silently, his shoulders slumping in defeat. The coffee shop buzzed with the sounds of other patrons, oblivious to the storm raging between us. I felt exposed, vulnerable, as if everyone could see the shattered pieces of my life strewn across the table. What happens now? I asked, my voice hollow. Jake sighed heavily, rubbing a hand over his face. I don't know, Mark. I honestly don't know. We need to talk, all of us. Figure out what this means, where we go from here. I pushed my chair back abruptly, the screech of its legs against the floor drawing a few curious glances. No, Jake. This is between me and Sarah. I need to talk to her alone. Jake hesitated, torn between wanting to help and realizing the depth of the pain he had caused. Finally, he nodded reluctantly. Okay, I understand, but please try to understand her side too. I didn't respond, couldn't trust myself to speak without unleashing a torrent of anger and anguish. Instead, I turned and walked out of the coffee shop, leaving Jake sitting there, a guilt-ridden spectator to the wreckage of my marriage. Outside, the cool autumn air did nothing to soothe the turmoil inside me. I pulled out my phone, my fingers trembling as I dialed Sarah's number. It rang and rang, each unanswered tone driving another wedge between us. Voicemail. I took a deep breath, trying to compose myself before leaving a message. Sarah, it's me. Please call me back. We need to talk. The words sounded hollow, inadequate in the face of the betrayal that had shattered our lives. I pocketed my phone and leaned against the brick wall of the coffee shop, staring out into the busy street. Minutes passed like hours before my phone finally buzzed with a text message. It was from Sarah. Mark, I'm so sorry. Please let me explain. Can we meet? I stared at the message, my emotions roiling inside me. Part of me wanted to lash out, to demand answers, to make her feel the pain I was feeling. But another part, the part that still loved her desperately, yearned for understanding, for reconciliation. With a heavy heart, I typed a response. "Where are you?" Her reply came quickly, an address not far from where I stood. Without hesitation, I started walking, each step carrying me closer to a confrontation I never imagined I would face. The journey was short but felt endless, my thoughts racing ahead of me. What would she say? How could she justify this betrayal? Did I even want to hear her reasons, or was it already too late? When I reached the address, a small park nestled among towering buildings, I saw her sitting alone on a bench by the fountain. She looked up as I approached, her eyes red-rimmed and filled with a mixture. Chapter 3. Sarah stood as I approached, her expression a tumultuous blend of guilt, fear, and desperation. The autumn breeze ruffled her hair, once a comforting sight to me, now a painful reminder of what we had lost. "Mark," she began, her voice tentative, "I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you." Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken truths. I stopped a few feet away from her, my arms folded tightly across my chest, as I struggled to contain the storm of emotions raging inside me. "Explain," I demanded, my voice low and cold. Sarah took a hesitant step closer, her hands clasped in front of her as if seeking reassurance. "It started at the meetings, Mark. Jake, he understood what I was going through. He was there for me in ways I thought you couldn't be." Her words cut deep, a painful admission of my own shortcomings as a husband. "So you turned to him," I said bitterly. She nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "I didn't plan for this to happen, Mark. It just evolved. He was helping me stay sober, helping me see things differently. And then, feelings grew between us. My heart clenched at her confession, a mix of betrayal and sorrow flooding through me. "Feelings," I echoed, unable to hide the bitterness in my voice. Sarah took another step closer, reaching out tentatively as if to touch me. I flinched away, the gesture feeling like a cruel mockery of our shattered trust. "Mark, please," she pleaded. "I love you. I never stopped loving you. But I was lost, and Jake, he understood me in a way I needed at that moment." I shook my head, unable to comprehend how she could justify her actions. "You chose him, Sarah. You chose to be with him." Her lower lip trembled, tears now streaming down her cheeks. "I know, and I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you like this." "You've torn our lives apart," I said hoarsely, struggling to keep my voice steady. "Do you even realize what you've done?" Sarah sank onto the bench, burying her face in her hands. "I know I've made a terrible mistake, but please, Mark, let's talk about this. Let's find a way to fix it." I paced back and forth in front of her, my mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. Anger, hurt, betrayal. They battled for dominance, each demanding justice for the pain she had caused. "How could you do this to us?" I finally whispered, my voice cracking with emotion. She looked up at me, her eyes pleading for understanding. "I was weak, Mark. I was struggling with everything, and Jake, he was my lifeline. I never meant to hurt you." "But you did," I said softly, the weight of her betrayal crushing me anew. "You've shattered everything we had." Sarah reached out again, her hand hovering in the air between us. "Please, Mark, give me a chance to make it right. I love you. I never stopped loving you." I stared at her, torn between the love I still felt for her and the deep wound she had inflicted. Could I forgive her? Could our marriage survive this betrayal? "We need time," I finally said, my voice hollow. "I need time to think." She nodded, tears continuing to fall unchecked. "Okay, I understand." I turned away from her then, unable to bear the sight of her pain any longer. Without another word, I walked away, leaving her sitting alone on the bench, her heartbreak a haunting echo in the quiet park. The journey home was a blur, each step a painful reminder of the life I thought we had built together. The house greeted me with its familiar silence, now tinged with the absence of Sarah's presence. I wandered through the rooms, unable to find solace in the familiar surroundings. Every corner held memories of laughter, of love, of a happiness now tainted by betrayal. As evening fell, I sank onto the couch in our living room, staring blankly at the empty space beside me. The weight of our shattered marriage pressed down on me, suffocating any hope of reconciliation. My phone buzzed with a text message, and I reluctantly picked it up. It was from Jake. "Mark, I'm sorry for everything. I never meant to come between you and Sarah. Please let me know if there's anything I can do." I stared at the message, a surge of anger rising within me. How dare he apologize now, after everything he had done? He had stolen my wife, shattered my life, and now he expected forgiveness. With a bitter laugh, I typed out a terse reply. "Stay away from us, Jake. You've done enough damage." I hit send and tossed the phone aside, the anger in my chest burning hotter than ever. But beneath the anger lay a deeper pain, a gnawing ache that no amount of anger could soothe. Hours passed in solitude, the darkness outside mirroring the turmoil within me. Sleep eluded me, my mind racing through endless scenarios of what could have been, what should have been. Eventually, exhaustion claimed me, and I drifted into an uneasy sleep, haunted by dreams of a life that no longer existed. In the quiet hours before dawn, I awoke with a start, the weight of reality crashing down on me once more. Sarah's betrayal, Jake's betrayal, they hung over me like a dark cloud, casting a shadow over everything I once held dear. And as the first rays of morning light filtered through the window, I knew that whatever came next, the road ahead would be fraught with pain and uncertainty. Chapter 4. Days turned into weeks, and the shattered fragments of my life seemed irreparable. The initial shock and raw pain of discovering Sarah's betrayal had given way to a numbness, a hollow emptiness that pervaded every moment of my existence. I continued to go through the motions of daily life, but each task felt like an insurmountable burden. Work provided a temporary distraction, but the evenings and weekends stretched out before me like endless voids of solitude. Sarah had moved out of our home shortly after our confrontation in the park. She had taken only the essentials, leaving behind a void that echoed with memories of happier times. Times when our love felt invincible, when our future seemed secure. I tried to avoid thinking about her, about Jake, about the betrayal that had torn our marriage apart. But their presence lingered like a ghost in every corner of our once happy home. One evening, as I sat alone at the dinner table, the silence was shattered by a knock on the door. I frowned, wondering who could be visiting at such a late hour. With a heavy heart, I rose from my seat and crossed the room to answer it. Opening the door, I was surprised to find Jake standing on the porch, his expression a mixture of apprehension and remorse. "Mark," he began tentatively. "Can we talk?" I hesitated, my first instinct to slam the door in his face. But a small voice inside me urged restraint, urged me to hear him out. With a sigh, I stepped aside and motioned for him to enter. Jake stepped into the foyer, his eyes darting around the familiar surroundings as if seeing them through new eyes. "I know I'm the last person you want to see right now," he started, his voice low with guilt. "You're right about that," I replied tersely, crossing my arms over my chest. "What do you want, Jake?" He took a deep breath, steeling himself. "I want to apologize, Mark. I never intended for any of this to happen. I never wanted to come between you and Sarah. Yet here we are," I said bitterly. "You couldn't resist getting involved with a married woman, could you?" Jake winced at my words, but he nodded. "I know I've hurt you both, and I'm sorry. But you have to understand, Mark, Sarah was struggling. She needed someone to lean on, and I was there. Is that supposed to excuse what you did?" I snapped, my anger bubbling to the surface. "You knew she was married. You knew what this would do to me." Jake sighed heavily, his shoulders slumping in defeat. "I never planned for any of this, Mark. It just happened. And now, I don't know how to fix it. There is no fixing this," I said sharply, my voice cracking with emotion. "You've destroyed everything." Silence hung between us like a heavy fog, the weight of our words filling the room with a palpable tension. Jake shifted uncomfortably, his gaze fixed on the floor. "I don't expect you to forgive me," he said quietly, "but I had to come and tell you, I'm leaving town. Sarah and I, We've decided to go our separate ways. The words hit me like a blow to the chest, unexpected in their finality. Leaving town? I echoed, disbelief coloring my tone. Jake nodded, his expression pained. It's for the best, Mark. For all of us. I know you're hurting, and I wish I could undo everything that's happened. I stared at him, a mixture of anger and resignation churning inside me. You're right about one thing, Jake. You should leave. He nodded slowly, his eyes filled with regret. I'm truly sorry, Mark. With that, he turned and walked out the door, leaving me standing alone in the dimly lit foyer. The echo of his footsteps faded into the silence, leaving behind a void that felt somehow emptier than before. I closed the door quietly, leaning against it for support. The reality of Sarah's betrayal and Jake's departure settled over me like a heavy shroud. I had lost not only my wife, but also the trust and security I had once taken for granted. In the days that followed, I tried to piece together what was left of my life. Friends reached out with words of sympathy and support, but their attempts to console me fell flat against the backdrop of my shattered marriage. Work became my refuge, a place where I could bury myself in tasks and deadlines, pretending for a fleeting moment that everything was normal. But the nights were the hardest, each empty bed reminding me of the void Sarah had left behind. One evening, as I sat alone in the quiet of our living room, a letter slipped through the mail slot and landed on the floor at my feet. Curious, I picked it up, my heart skipping a beat when I recognized Sarah's handwriting on the envelope. I hesitated, torn between the urge to tear it into pieces and the desperate need to understand why she had left. With trembling hands, I tore open the envelope and unfolded the letter inside. Mark, it began, the words shaky and stained with tear marks. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I can forgive myself. What I did was unforgivable, and I regret every moment of it. Tears blurred my vision as I read her words, each sentence a knife twisting in my heart. Jake is leaving town, and I'm going with him. Not because I love him more than you, but because I don't know how to face you after what I've done. She poured her heart out in the letter, confessing her guilt, her regret, and her desperate hope that someday I could find it in my heart to forgive her. But forgiveness felt like an impossible dream, a distant shore beyond the storm-tossed sea of pain and betrayal. I will always love you, Mark, she wrote, the words a bittersweet echo of our once unbreakable bond. I'm sorry for everything. I folded the letter carefully, clutching it to my chest as tears streamed down my face. The weight of her words bore down on me, a heavy burden of love and loss that threatened to consume me whole. In that moment, I realized that our marriage was truly over. Sarah had made her choice, and Jake had become the unwitting catalyst for the destruction of everything we had built together. As the days turned into weeks and the ache in my heart refused to diminish, I knew that moving on would be the hardest journey of all. But somewhere deep inside, a flicker of hope remained, a tiny ember of resilience that whispered, against all odds, that someday I would find peace again. Chapter 5. Weeks turned into months, and the sharp edges of pain began to dull into a constant ache. Life settled into a rhythm of sorts, a routine that helped me navigate the emptiness left behind by Sarah's departure and Jake's betrayal. I threw myself into work with renewed vigor, seeking solace in the familiar patterns of deadlines and projects. The distraction offered temporary relief from the gnawing loneliness that plagued my evenings and weekends. Friends continued to reach out, offering companionship and support, though their well-meaning efforts often felt inadequate against the backdrop of my shattered marriage. I appreciated their presence, their attempts to lift my spirits, but the void Sarah had left remained unfillable. Occasionally, I would catch glimpses of Sarah's life through mutual acquaintances or fleeting mentions on social media. Each update, each photograph of her smiling face with friends or in new places reopened wounds I had struggled to heal. One evening, as I sat alone at a local bar, nursing a whiskey to numb the ache in my chest, a familiar voice interrupted my thoughts. Mark? I looked up to see Rachel, a mutual friend of Sarah and mine, standing uncertainly by my table. Rachel, I greeted her with a half-hearted smile. What brings you here? She hesitated before taking a seat across from me. I heard about what happened, Mark. I'm so sorry. I shrugged, not trusting myself to speak. The pain of Sarah's betrayal still cut deep, a wound that refused to fully close. I saw Sarah recently, Rachel continued cautiously. She's trying to move on, you know. It hasn't been easy for her either. A bitter laugh escaped me, tinged with resignation. Moving on, I echoed bitterly. Seems like she managed that just fine. Rachel reached out to touch my hand, her expression sympathetic. Mark, I know it's hard to understand, but maybe it's for the best, for both of you. I withdrew my hand gently, unable to bear the comfort she offered. For the best, I repeated, the words tasting bitter on my tongue. Maybe. Silence settled between us, heavy with unspoken truths and the ache of lost love. Rachel cleared her throat, as if searching for the right words to say. I just wanted you to know, she said finally, her voice soft. Sarah, she's not the same. She's struggling too, in her own way. I looked at Rachel, seeing the earnest concern in her eyes. And I asked, the name leaving a bitter taste in my mouth. Rachel sighed, her gaze dropping to her hands. He's gone, left town shortly after. Everything happened. I think he realized the damage he caused. Anger surged through me unexpectedly, hot and raw. Damage. I spat out the word. That's an understatement. Rachel flinched at my tone, but she didn't back down. Mark, I know you're hurting, but holding on to anger won't bring you peace. I drained the last of my whiskey, the burn of alcohol offering a fleeting distraction from the turmoil inside me. Peace, I muttered bitterly. I don't think peace is in the cards for me. Rachel squeezed my hand gently, her touch a reminder of the empathy and care I had found in our circle of friends. You will find your way through this, Mark, she said softly. It may not feel like it now, but time has a way of healing even the deepest wounds. I nodded silently, unable to find the words to respond. The ache in my chest felt bottomless, a void that threatened to consume me if I dared to dwell on it too long. As Rachel stood to leave, she hesitated once more, her gaze searching mine. Take care of yourself, Mark, she said sincerely. And remember, we're here for you, whenever you need us. I watched her go, her words lingering in the air like a fragile promise. Alone once more, I stared into the empty glass before me, grappling with the weight of my shattered dreams and uncertain future. In the weeks that followed, I began to tentatively rebuild my life. I threw myself into new hobbies, reconnecting with old friends, and exploring avenues of personal growth I had neglected during my marriage. Each step forward was hesitant, marked by moments of doubt and loneliness, but with time, the sharp edges of pain began to soften, replaced by a quiet resilience and a newfound appreciation for the strength within me. Occasionally, I would glimpse Sarah's life from afar, a passing mention from a mutual friend, a photograph on social media. Each time, the pang of loss was less acute, replaced by a sense of acceptance and a quiet hope for her happiness. The wound Sarah's betrayal had inflicted would always be a part of me, a testament to the love and trust I had once placed in her. But as the seasons turned and life carried on, I began to realize that healing was not about forgetting, but about forging ahead despite the scars. And as I stood on the threshold of a new chapter in my life, I knew that I would emerge from this crucible stronger, wiser, and more resilient than I had ever been before. Chapter 6. Life had settled into a new normalcy, albeit one tinged with remnants of pain and loss. The days grew longer, the nights less lonely, as I navigated the landscape of singlehood with cautious steps. Work became a refuge, a place where I could immerse myself in tasks that demanded my focus and expertise. It offered structure and purpose, anchoring me amidst the storm of emotions that still occasionally swept through my heart. Friends continued to offer support, inviting me to social gatherings and outings, their laughter a balm for the wounds I carried. I appreciated their efforts, grateful for the distraction and companionship they provided. Yet, despite the outward appearance of moving on, Sarah's absence echoed in the quiet moments of solitude. Her laughter, her touch, her presence, memories of our life together lingered like fragile threads woven into the fabric of my existence. One Saturday morning, as sunlight filtered through the curtains of my living room, I found myself leafing through old photographs tucked away in a forgotten drawer. Each image captured moments of joy and intimacy, birthdays celebrated, vacations cherished, milestones marked together. A photograph caught my eye, a snapshot from our honeymoon, Sarah smiling beside me against a backdrop of turquoise waters and golden sands. The sight of her radiant face, so full of promise and love, pierced through the armor of detachment I had painstakingly built. Tears blurred my vision as I traced the outline of her smiling face with trembling fingers. Sarah, I whispered, the sound of her name a prayer on my lips. The weight of our shattered dreams settled heavily on my shoulders, the pain of her betrayal mingling with the lingering ache of lost love. How had we gone from that idyllic honeymoon to this shattered reality? As if drawn by an unseen force, I reached for my phone and scrolled through our old messages. Words of love and affection exchanged freely, promises made in earnest, now rendered hollow by deceit. A sudden impulse seized me, an urge to confront the remnants of our life together, to purge the physical reminders of a love that had turned toxic. With determination born of desperation, I gathered the artifacts of our marriage, the framed photographs, the love letters tucked away in a box, the trinkets collected from our travels. The afternoon sun bathed the room in a warm glow as I stood before the open dumpster outside my apartment building, a makeshift altar to the ghosts of my past. With each item I discarded, a wave of anguish and relief washed over me, a cathartic release from the weight of memories too painful to bear. The photographs fluttered into the depths of the dumpster, the love letters followed suit, their words fading into obscurity amidst discarded remnants of other lives left behind. The trinkets clinked softly as they landed, their significance diminished by the passage of time and the bitter taste of betrayal. As I closed the lid of the dumpster, a sense of finality settled over me, a symbolic gesture of letting go, of reclaiming my autonomy in the aftermath of heartbreak. The air felt lighter, the burden of sorrow easing ever so slightly as I turned away from the remnants of a chapter closed. That evening, as twilight painted the sky in shades of purple and gold, I stood on the balcony of my apartment, breathing in the cool evening air. The city sprawled before me, a bustling tapestry of lights and life, a reminder that amidst the wreckage of my own heart, the world continued to spin. In the quiet of that moment, a realization dawned, a recognition that healing was not about erasing the past, but about embracing the lessons it imparted. I had loved deeply, trusted fiercely, and been betrayed in ways I never imagined possible. Yet, in spite of the pain, I had survived. The journey ahead remained uncertain, the path winding and steep. But as I watched the stars emerge one by one in the darkening sky, a sense of peace settled within me, a quiet acceptance of the scars that marked my heart and the resilience that carried me forward. With each breath, with each heartbeat, I vowed to reclaim my sense of self, to rebuild, to rediscover, to redefine what it meant to live and love in a world forever changed by the echoes of a love lost and a betrayal endured. Life had settled into a fragile semblance of normalcy, punctuated by moments of unexpected introspection and quiet solitude. The wounds left by Sarah's betrayal were still tender, but time had begun to weave its subtle magic, knitting together the shattered pieces of my heart into something resembling resilience. I threw myself into work with renewed purpose, channeling my energy into projects that demanded my full attention. The office became a sanctuary of sorts, a place where I could find solace in the structured chaos of deadlines and meetings. Outside of work, I immersed myself in activities that brought me a sense of fulfillment and distraction. Long walks through the city parks became a ritual, offering moments of clarity amidst the hustle and bustle of urban life. Nature had a way of grounding me, of reminding me of the beauty that still existed beyond the confines of my pain. Weekends were spent exploring new hobbies, a photography class that awakened a dormant passion, a cooking workshop that sparked creativity in the kitchen. Each endeavor offered a glimpse of a future untethered to the ghosts of my past, a future where happiness was no longer contingent upon the actions of others. Yet, despite my efforts to move forward, Traces of Sarah lingered in the corners of my mind, her laughter echoing in empty rooms, her scent lingering on forgotten articles of clothing. Memories, both bitter and sweet, played like a silent movie reel behind closed eyelids, reminding me of a love that had once felt boundless. One evening, as I flipped through the channels on my television, a news segment caught my attention, an interview with a local psychologist specializing in addiction recovery. Dr. Emily Richards, a seasoned therapist with a compassionate demeanor, spoke eloquently about the complexities of healing from emotional trauma and rebuilding trust. Intrigued, I found myself drawn to her insights, her words resonating with the turmoil I had struggled to articulate. She spoke of forgiveness, not as an act of condoning betrayal, but as a path to releasing the grip of pain and reclaiming personal power. The following day, fueled by a mix of curiosity and desperation, I dialed the number listed on Dr. Richards' website and scheduled an appointment. The receptionist's voice was warm and reassuring, a beacon of hope amidst the uncertainty that had clouded my vision for so long. Dr. Richards' office was nestled in a quiet corner of the city, a sanctuary of soft lighting and comfortable chairs that invited introspection. As I settled into the plush armchair opposite her, I felt a wave of apprehension and relief wash over me. "Mark, it's a pleasure to meet you," Dr. Richards greeted me with a gentle smile. "How can I support you today?" I hesitated, unsure of where to begin. The floodgate of emotions I had kept tightly sealed threatened to burst open, but I knew I needed to start somewhere. "I'm struggling," I admitted finally, my voice raw with vulnerability. "My wife. She betrayed me. I don't know how to move on." Dr. Richards nodded empathetically, her expression a blend of compassion and understanding. "Betrayal can inflict deep wounds, Mark. It's natural to feel lost and overwhelmed. Let's unpack this together, at your pace." And so, over the weeks that followed, I began the journey of unraveling the complexities of my grief and navigating the tangled emotions that had kept me tethered to the past. Dr. Richards guided me with patience and wisdom, offering insights and tools to help me cultivate resilience and reclaim my sense of self-worth. Through our sessions, I learned to confront the pain of betrayal with courage rather than avoidance, to acknowledge the depth of my emotions without allowing them to define me. Forgiveness became less about absolving others of their actions and more about freeing myself from the shackles of resentment and bitterness. Outside of therapy, I continued to explore avenues of personal growth and self-discovery. I joined a support group for individuals navigating the aftermath of infidelity, finding solace in shared experiences and mutual support. Listening to others' stories of resilience and redemption offered me hope that healing was not only possible but within reach. As the seasons turned and the scars of betrayal began to fade, I found myself embracing life with a newfound sense of optimism. The wounds left by Sarah's betrayal would always be a part of my story, a testament to the depth of love and the resilience of the human spirit. But as I stood on the threshold of a future no longer overshadowed by past betrayals, I knew that I had emerged stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than before. Dr. Richards' guidance had been a beacon of light in my darkest moments, illuminating a path forward filled with possibility and the promise of a life reclaimed. Spring arrived with the flourish of blossoms and renewed hope, casting a vibrant hue over the city's streets and parks. The air carried the scent of new beginnings, a palpable reminder that life was constantly evolving, even in the wake of heartbreak. My sessions with Dr. Richards had become a cornerstone of my healing journey, a safe harbor where I could navigate the complexities of forgiveness and self-discovery. Each week brought new insights and revelations, guiding me towards a deeper understanding of my own resilience and capacity for growth. One sunny afternoon, after a particularly enlightening session, I found myself drawn to a bookstore nestled in a quaint corner of the neighborhood. The smell of paper and ink enveloped me as I wandered through aisles lined with shelves of books, each one a doorway to distant lands, untold stories, and unexplored emotions. A title caught my eye, a book on mindfulness and resilience in the face of adversity. Intrigued, I pulled it from the shelf and settled into a cozy armchair by the window. bathed in the warmth of sunlight streaming through the glass. As I flipped through the pages, absorbing the wisdom of authors who had traversed their own paths of hardship and redemption, I felt a sense of kinship with their words. Their stories spoke of resilience not as an absence of struggle, but as a journey of embracing life's challenges with grace and courage. Lost in thought, I barely noticed the approach of a figure, a woman with a gentle smile and a stack of books in her arms. She paused by my chair, her eyes curious yet kind. "Mind if I join you?" she asked, gesturing to the empty seat beside me. I glanced up, momentarily startled by her presence. "Oh, please," I replied, gesturing for her to sit. I didn't realize I had company. She settled into the chair gracefully, her gaze lingering on the book in my hands. "Mindfulness and resilience," she mused. "Sounds like you're on a journey." I nodded, a flicker of recognition sparking between us. "It's been a journey, to say the least," I admitted. "Learning to navigate life after unexpected turns." Her expression softened with empathy. "I understand," she said quietly. "Life has a way of throwing us curveballs when we least expect it." We fell into easy conversation, discussing books and life experiences with a sense of camaraderie that felt strangely comforting. She introduced herself as Anna, a writer and avid reader with a passion for exploring the human condition through storytelling. As we talked, I found myself opening up about my own struggles, the pain of betrayal, the journey of forgiveness, and the tentative steps towards rebuilding a life enriched by newfound resilience. Anna listened attentively, her presence a soothing balm to the wounds I had carried for so long. "I admire your courage," she said sincerely, her eyes reflecting genuine admiration. "To face such challenges head-on and emerge with such grace." I smiled gratefully, touched by her words. "It hasn't been easy," I admitted, "but I'm learning to embrace the journey, the ups and downs, with an open heart." Anna nodded thoughtfully, her gaze drifting to the window where sunlight danced on the blossoms outside. "Sometimes the hardest battles lead us to the most beautiful discoveries," she mused. "Strength isn't just about overcoming, it's about finding peace within ourselves." Her words resonated deeply, stirring a sense of hope and possibility within me. For the first time in months, I glimpsed a future not defined by past betrayals or lingering pain, but by the resilience and compassion I had cultivated along the way. As the afternoon waned and we bid farewell, promising to meet again soon, I left the bookstore with a renewed sense of purpose. The path ahead remained uncertain, dotted with challenges and unexpected turns, but I walked with a lighter step and a heart open to the possibilities that lay ahead. In the days that followed, Anna and I continued to explore the city together, discovering hidden cafes, attending cultural events, and sharing moments of laughter and contemplation. Her presence became a source of inspiration and encouragement, a reminder that connection and understanding could blossom in the most unexpected places. Through Anna's friendship and the guidance of Dr. Richards, I continued to nurture my newfound resilience and embrace the richness of life's journey. The scars of betrayal remained, etched into the fabric of my being, but they no longer defined me. As the warmth of spring gave way to the lazy days of summer, my journey of healing and self-discovery took on a deeper resonance. The lessons gleaned from therapy sessions with Dr. Richards and the newfound friendship with Anna provided a sturdy framework upon which I began to rebuild my life. Anna became a constant presence, a beacon of positivity and creativity in my days. Our friendship blossomed effortlessly, each interaction infused with shared laughter, deep conversations, and a mutual appreciation for the beauty found in life's simplest moments. One evening, as we sat on the balcony of a cozy cafe nestled in the heart of the city, savoring the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee, Anna broached a topic that had lingered unspoken between us. "Mark, can I ask you something?" she began, her eyes searching mine with a blend of curiosity and concern. I nodded, setting down my coffee cup with a small smile. "Of course, Anna. What's on your mind?" She hesitated, as if choosing her words carefully. "I've noticed how much you've grown since we first met," she started tentatively. "But I can't help but wonder, are you truly ready to let go of the past, to fully embrace what lies ahead?" Her question hung in the air, stirring a whirlwind of emotions within me. I leaned back in my chair, contemplating her words with a mixture of gratitude and introspection. "It's a journey," I replied finally, my voice steady. "I've come a long way, but there are moments when the past feels like it's still holding on to MME. Anna nodded thoughtfully, her expression softening with empathy. "Healing isn't linear," she offered gently. "It's okay to have moments of doubt or sadness. They're a reminder of how far you've come." Her words resonated deeply, echoing the wisdom shared by Dr. Richards during our therapy sessions. Acceptance wasn't about erasing the past, but acknowledging its impact while forging ahead with newfound strength and resilience. In the weeks that followed, I delved deeper into self-reflection, journaling about the lessons learned and the hurdles overcome. Each entry became a testament to my evolving understanding of forgiveness, not as a gift bestowed upon others, but as a liberation of the spirit from the burden of resentment. Outside of our conversations, Anna introduced me to mindfulness practices, a gentle invitation to anchor myself in the present moment and cultivate a sense of inner peace. Together, we attended meditation workshops and yoga classes, embracing the transformative power of stillness and self-awareness. Through these practices, I discovered a reservoir of inner strength and clarity, a quiet reservoir that sustained me through moments of uncertainty and self-doubt. The scars left by Sarah's betrayal no longer defined me but served as a reminder of the resilience forged through adversity. One Saturday afternoon, as Anna and I wandered through an art gallery, captivated by the vibrant strokes and poignant narratives of the exhibits, I realized how much my perspective had shifted. The artwork spoke to the complexities of human experience, the pain, the joy, the longing, all woven together in a tapestry of resilience and renewal. "Mark," Anna said softly, breaking the reverie that had settled over me. "You've been through so much, but look at how far you've come." I met her gaze, gratitude swelling in my chest. "Thank you, Anna," I murmured sincerely, "for being here, for guiding me through this journey." She smiled warmly, her eyes crinkling at the corners with genuine affection. "We're in this together," she said softly, "and whatever lies ahead, you're stronger than you know." As we strolled through the gallery, enveloped in the beauty of artistic expression and the quiet companionship of friendship, I felt a profound sense of peace settle within me. The road ahead remained uncertain, dotted with challenges and unexpected twists, but I walked it with newfound courage and a heart open to the endless possibilities that awaited. In the embrace of art and friendship, I found solace and strength, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of forgiveness. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the city skyline, I knew that the next chapter of my life would unfold with grace and resilience, guided by the lessons learned and the connections forged along the way. Summer stretched lazily into early autumn, painting the city in hues of gold and amber. With each passing day, I found myself embracing the rhythm of life with a newfound sense of clarity and purpose. The lessons learned from therapy sessions with Dr. Richards and the unwavering support of Anna had become pillars of strength, guiding me through the complexities of healing and self-discovery. One crisp Saturday morning, as sunlight filtered through the leaves of the park where Anna and I often met, she broached a topic that had been lingering on the periphery of our conversations. "Mark, I've been thinking," Anna began, her gaze thoughtful yet earnest, "about forgiveness." I nodded, curiosity piqued by the gentle seriousness in her tone. "What about it?" She sighed softly, her fingers absently tracing patterns on the surface of the wooden bench where we sat. "Forgiveness isn't just about letting go of anger or resentment towards others," she explained quietly. "It's also about forgiving ourselves for the mistakes we've made, for the moments of weakness or doubt." Her words resonated deeply, stirring memories of the self-blame and guilt that had weighed heavily on my heart in the aftermath of Sarah's betrayal. "It's not easy," I admitted, my voice tinged with vulnerability. "To forgive myself, I mean." Anna nodded understandingly, her eyes meeting mine with unwavering compassion. "It takes time," she said softly, "but you've already taken the first steps, Mark. you faced your pain with courage and honesty. As we sat in companionable silence, the rustling of leaves overhead mingling with the distant hum of city life, I felt a sense of gratitude wash over me. Anna's friendship had been a guiding light in my darkest moments, a reminder that healing was not a solitary journey, but a shared experience woven with empathy and understanding. In the weeks that followed, I delved deeper into the practice of self-compassion, embracing my flaws and imperfections with a newfound sense of gentleness and acceptance. Dr. Richard's guidance continued to anchor me, offering tools and perspectives that empowered me to navigate the complexities of forgiveness with grace and resilience. One evening, as I sat at my desk journaling about the progress I had made and the challenges that still lay ahead, a sense of peace settled within me. The scars left by Sarah's betrayal no longer defined me, but served as a testament to the depth of my capacity for growth and transformation. Outside of my personal journey, I began to explore new avenues of professional fulfillment, a promotion at work that challenged me to step outside my comfort zone, opportunities to mentor younger colleagues, and collaborations on projects that ignited my passion for innovation and creativity. Through these experiences, I discovered a renewed sense of purpose, a commitment to living authentically and embracing each day with gratitude and intention. The road ahead remained uncertain, dotted with moments of doubt and reflection, but I walked it with a steadfast belief in my ability to navigate life's twists and turns with resilience and grace. As autumn gave way to the crisp embrace of winter, I found solace in the quiet beauty of the changing seasons, a metaphor for the cycles of growth and renewal that had come to define my journey of healing and forgiveness. And as I looked towards the future, guided by the lessons learned and the connections forged along the way, I knew that I was not only reclaiming my sense of self, but also embracing a future filled with endless possibilities and the promise of a life lived authentically, with an open heart. In the embrace of forgiveness and self-compassion, I found liberation, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of embracing life's challenges with courage and grace. Winter settled over the city like a soft blanket of snow, transforming familiar streets into a glistening wonderland. The crisp air carried a sense of renewal, a reminder that even in the quietude of the season, life continued to unfold with its own rhythm and purpose. Amidst the serenity of winter's embrace, I found myself drawn to moments of introspection and gratitude. The lessons of forgiveness and self-compassion, nurtured through therapy with Dr. Richards and the unwavering support of Anna, had become integral parts of my daily life. One snowy afternoon, as I sat by the window of my cozy apartment, journal in hand, I reflected on the journey that had led me to this point. The pages of my journal were a testament to the resilience I had cultivated, a journey marked by moments of growth, setbacks overcome, and a gradual embrace of inner peace. Dr. Richard's words echoed in my mind, a steady anchor amidst the ebb and flow of emotions. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or condoning, she had once said during a particularly poignant session. It's about reclaiming your power to choose how you respond to life's challenges. Her guidance had been transformative, offering me tools to navigate the complexities of healing and reconciliation. Through mindfulness practices and reflective exercises, I had learned to honor my emotions without allowing them to define my sense of worth or identity. Anna remained a steadfast companion on this journey, her presence a source of inspiration and understanding. Together, we explored new avenues of creativity and self-expression, attending art exhibitions, participating in community events, and savoring quiet moments of connection over shared meals and conversations. As winter gave way to the promise of spring, I found myself embracing opportunities for personal and professional growth. At work, I took on new responsibilities with a sense of confidence and purpose, drawing upon the resilience forged through my journey of healing. Outside of the office, I volunteered with organizations dedicated to supporting individuals navigating similar challenges of betrayal and recovery. The experience offered me a chance to pay forward the support and guidance that had been instrumental in my own healing process. One evening, as I attended a support group meeting for survivors of infidelity, I met Sarah, a woman whose quiet strength and resilience mirrored my own. Over cups of tea and shared stories, we found solace in our shared experiences and a renewed sense of hope for the future. Sarah's friendship blossomed effortlessly, each conversation a reminder of the transformative power of empathy and connection. Together, we explored new interests and hobbies, finding joy in simple pleasures and celebrating milestones of growth and healing. Through Sarah's friendship and the continued guidance of Dr. Richards, I began to envision a future shaped not by the pain of betrayal but by the strength and wisdom gained through adversity. The scars of the past remained, a testament to the depth of my journey, but they no longer held sway over my heart or spirit. As I looked towards the horizon, filled with the promise of new beginnings and endless possibilities, I knew that the road ahead would be marked by moments of joy, challenges to overcome, and the enduring resilience that had become my greatest asset. In the quiet moments of reflection and gratitude, amidst the changing seasons and the gentle embrace of friendship, I found peace, a testament to the transformative power of forgiveness, resilience, and the unwavering belief in the human spirit's capacity to heal and thrive. The crisp air of early spring brought with it a sense of anticipation and renewal. As I walked through the park near my apartment, the trees budding with fresh green leaves and the gentle scent of blossoms in the air, I reflected on the journey that had brought me to this point. The months since winter had passed had been marked by a steady rhythm of growth and introspection. With each passing day, I found myself more deeply rooted in the practices of mindfulness and self-compassion that had become pillars of my daily life. Anna's friendship continued to be a source of strength and inspiration, her unwavering support a constant reminder of the resilience we both possessed. One afternoon, over a leisurely lunch at our favorite cafe, Anna broached a topic that had been on her mind. "Mark, do you remember when we first met?" she asked, her voice soft with nostalgia. I nodded, a smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. "Of course, how could I forget? It feels like a lifetime ago." She chuckled softly, sipping her coffee before continuing. "You've grown so much since then, Mark. It's been incredible to witness." Her words warmed my heart, filling me with a sense of gratitude for how far I had come. "Thank you, Anna," I replied sincerely. "I couldn't have done it without you." Our conversation turned to the future, to the possibilities that lay ahead. Anna shared her own dreams and aspirations, a reflection of the courage and determination that had guided her through her own challenges. Together, we spoke of traveling to new places, of pursuing creative endeavors, and of embracing each day with a renewed sense of purpose. As the weeks unfolded, I found myself drawn to new opportunities for personal and professional growth. At work, I embarked on a project that stretched my skills and challenged me to think innovatively. The collaborative environment fueled my creativity, offering me a platform to contribute meaningfully to our team's success. Outside of work, I volunteered with local organizations dedicated to supporting individuals and families affected by addiction. Listening to stories of resilience and recovery, I felt a deep sense of connection and purpose. Each story shared was a testament to the strength of the human spirit, a reminder that healing was not a linear path, but a journey marked by courage and perseverance. Through these experiences, I began to envision a future guided by compassion and authenticity, a future where I continued to learn and grow, where I embraced life's challenges with an open heart and a spirit of resilience. One Saturday morning, I received an unexpected email from Sarah. The subject line simply read, "A reflection." Intrigued yet cautious, I opened the message to find a heartfelt apology, an acknowledgement of the pain she had caused, and a genuine desire to make amends. Reading her words stirred a mix of emotions within me, forgiveness tempered with the understanding that healing was a journey that often required time and reflection. I responded with a brief note of acknowledgement, expressing my gratitude for her words and my own commitment to moving forward with forgiveness and peace. In the days that followed, I found solace in the quiet moments of reflection and gratitude. The scars of the past remained, a reminder of the resilience I had cultivated and the depth of my capacity for forgiveness. As spring bloomed into fullness and the days grew longer, I embraced the beauty of new beginnings and the promise of endless possibilities. In Anna's friendship, in the challenges embraced at work, and in the connections forged through volunteering, I found a sense of purpose and fulfillment that anchored me in the present moment. Looking towards the horizon, I knew that the road ahead would continue to unfold with its own twists and turns. But armed with the lessons of resilience, forgiveness, and the unwavering support of those who walk beside me, I faced the future with courage and optimism. In the embrace of each day, I found peace, a testament to the transformative power of growth, forgiveness, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Spring had fully bloomed, painting the city in vibrant hues of green and blossoms. Each day seemed to carry a whisper of new beginnings, a reminder of the resilience and growth that had shaped my journey. In the midst of this season of renewal, I found myself drawn to the practice of mindfulness more than ever before. The gentle rhythm of meditation and reflection grounded me, offering moments of clarity and peace amidst the busyness of daily life. One morning, as I sat on the balcony of my apartment, savoring the warmth of the sun on my face and the scent of freshly bloomed flowers in the air, I received an unexpected phone call. It was Sarah, the woman I had met at the support group months ago. "Mark, hi," her voice greeted me warmly through the phone. "I hope I'm not interrupting anything." "Not at all, Sarah," I replied, genuinely pleased to hear from her. "How are you?" We exchanged pleasantries before she got to the reason for her call. "I wanted to thank you," Sarah began earnestly. "Our conversations at the support group really helped me through a tough time. I've been thinking a lot about forgiveness lately, and your perspective was incredibly insightful. I felt a sense of gratitude wash over me, knowing that our shared experiences had offered comfort and understanding to both of us." "I'm glad to hear that, Sarah," I replied sincerely. "Forgiveness can be a challenging journey, but it's also incredibly freeing." Sarah shared some updates about her own journey of healing and growth, including new hobbies she had taken up and positive changes in her personal life. Hearing her optimism and resilience filled me with a sense of hope for the future, not just for her, but for everyone navigating their own paths of recovery. As our conversation came to a close, Sarah mentioned an upcoming art exhibition she planned to attend and invited me to join her. "It would be great to catch up in person," she added warmly. I accepted her invitation, looking forward to reconnecting and sharing more moments of connection and growth. After hanging up the phone, I reflected on how far I had come since the days of profound hurt and uncertainty. The scars of betrayal had not disappeared, but they no longer defined me. Instead, they served as reminders of the strength and resilience that had emerged from the depths of pain. In the weeks that followed, Sarah and I attended the art exhibition together, a showcase of vibrant paintings and sculptures that stirred emotions and sparked conversations. We shared stories of our respective journeys, of the challenges we had faced and the lessons we had learned along the way. As I stood before a painting that depicted the interplay of light and shadow, I felt a profound sense of gratitude for the connections that had shaped my healing. Sarah's friendship had become a cherished part of my life, a testament to the transformative power of empathy and shared experiences. In the months that followed, I continued to explore new opportunities for personal growth and fulfillment. I attended workshops on mindfulness and resilience, deepening my understanding of these practices that had become integral to my well-being. At work, I took on leadership roles in projects that aligned with my passions and values, finding fulfillment in making meaningful contributions to my team and organization. Through it all, I carried with me the lessons of forgiveness and self-compassion that had guided me through the darkest moments of my journey. I embraced each day with gratitude and intention, knowing that life's challenges were opportunities for growth and discovery. As summer approached, I found myself looking towards the future with optimism and excitement. The road ahead was filled with possibilities, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of healing and forgiveness. In the embrace of each new day, surrounded by the beauty of friendships old and new, I found peace, a reminder that true healing comes not from forgetting the past, but from embracing it with compassion and courage. And as I looked towards the horizon, filled with the promise of new beginnings and endless possibilities, I knew that the journey of healing and growth was far from over. It was a lifelong commitment to living authentically and embracing each moment with grace and resilience. The summer sun hung high in the sky, casting a warm glow over the city as I strolled through the bustling streets. It was a season of vibrancy and energy, mirrored in the conversations and laughter that echoed around me. In the midst of this lively atmosphere, I found myself reflecting on the journey that had led me here, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the growth experienced. Each step forward had been marked by resilience and a deepening understanding of the human spirit's capacity for healing. One afternoon, as I sat in a cozy cafe, savoring a cup of coffee and the gentle hum of conversation around me, I received an unexpected email. The sender's name was familiar yet distant, Sarah. Her message was brief yet filled with sincerity, expressing a desire to reconnect after our last conversation at the art exhibition. I responded warmly, agreeing to meet for coffee the following week. The prospect of reconnecting with Sarah stirred a mix of emotions within me: curiosity, gratitude, and a sense of closure that had eluded me for so long. When the day arrived, I found myself seated at a corner table of the cafe, waiting for Sarah. As I glanced around, taking in the familiar surroundings and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, she walked in with a warm smile that reached her eyes. "Mark, it's so good to see you," Sarah greeted me, her voice tinged with genuine warmth. "It's good to see you too, Sarah," I replied, standing to greet her with a hug. We settled into our seats, the conversation flowing effortlessly as we exchanged updates on our lives since we last spoke. Sarah shared about her continued journey of self-discovery and growth, mentioning how our previous conversations had sparked a new perspective on forgiveness and resilience. "I've been thinking a lot about forgiveness," Sarah admitted, stirring her coffee thoughtfully. "It's not just about letting go of the past, it's about reclaiming your power and choosing compassion over bitterness." Her words resonated deeply with me, a reminder of the transformative power of forgiveness in my own healing journey. "I couldn't agree more," I replied earnestly. "It's a journey that requires strength and courage, but it's incredibly liberating." As we continued to talk, I felt a sense of closure settle within me, a peace that stemmed from understanding and acceptance. The scars of the past had faded, replaced by a newfound sense of compassion and empathy for myself and others. In the weeks that followed, Sarah and I continued to reconnect, attending cultural events and sharing moments of laughter and reflection. Our friendship grew stronger, rooted in shared experiences of overcoming adversity and embracing life's challenges with grace. Outside of my time with Sarah, I immersed myself in new opportunities for personal and professional growth. I enrolled in a photography workshop, rediscovering a passion for capturing moments of beauty and authenticity through the lens of my camera. The creative outlet provided a therapeutic escape, allowing me to explore new perspectives and express emotions that words could not convey. At work, I took on a mentoring role for younger colleagues, sharing insights gained from my own career journey and encouraging them to pursue their passions with enthusiasm and determination. The collaborative environment fueled my own sense of fulfillment, reminding me of the importance of giving back and supporting others on their paths to success. As summer transitioned into autumn, I found myself reflecting on the transformations that had unfolded over the past year. The journey of healing and growth had been marked by moments of profound introspection and connection, each experience contributing to a deeper sense of purpose and authenticity. Looking towards the future, I felt a renewed sense of optimism and gratitude. The road ahead was filled with endless possibilities, shaped by resilience I had cultivated along the way. With each passing day, I embraced life's uncertainties with courage and resilience, knowing that every challenge was an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. In the quiet moments of reflection surrounded by the beauty of changing seasons and the warmth of cherished friendships, I found peace, a testament to the transformative power of forgiveness, resilience, and the unwavering strength of the human spirit. Autumn settled gently over the city, painting the streets in hues of gold and amber. The cool breeze carried whispers of change, a reminder of the inevitable cycles of life and the beauty found in letting go. In the midst of this tranquil season, I found myself reflecting on the journey that had brought me to this moment. The moments of healing, growth, and newfound clarity. Each day seemed to unfold with a sense of purpose and gratitude, a testament to the resilience and strength discovered through adversity. One crisp afternoon, as I walked through the park near my apartment, I received an unexpected invitation. It was from Sarah, inviting me to join her for a hike in the nearby mountains. Her message carried a sense of excitement and anticipation, promising a day of exploration and connection amidst nature's splendor. I eagerly accepted, grateful for the opportunity to spend time outdoors and reconnect with Sarah. As we embarked on the hike together, surrounded by towering trees and the soothing sound of rustling leaves, conversation flowed effortlessly between us. "I've been reflecting a lot lately," Sarah shared as we paused to admire a panoramic view of the valley below, "about the importance of embracing change and finding beauty in the unknown." Her words resonated deeply with me, echoing my own journey of acceptance and growth. "It's amazing how nature mirrors our own lives," I mused, taking in the sweeping landscape before us. "In every season, there's a lesson to be learned." We continued our hike, navigating winding trails and steep ascents with a shared sense of determination and camaraderie. Along the way, we exchanged stories of resilience and renewal, finding solace in the shared experiences that had shaped our paths. As we reached the summit, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, I felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over me. The journey of healing had not been without its challenges, but each step had led me closer to a place of peace and authenticity. In the months that followed, Sarah and I continued to nurture our friendship, exploring new adventures and savoring moments of laughter and reflection. We attended art exhibitions, embarked on weekend getaways, and shared quiet evenings discussing books and dreams. Outside of my time with Sarah, I delved deeper into my photography passion, capturing the changing seasons and fleeting moments of beauty with a newfound appreciation. The camera became my companion, a tool for expression and introspection that allowed me to document the world through my own lens. At work, I embraced new opportunities for leadership and innovation, leveraging my experiences to inspire others and drive positive change within my team. The collaborative environment fueled my creativity and ambition, reinforcing my commitment to making a meaningful impact in both my professional and personal life. As winter approached, I found myself reflecting on the transformations that had unfolded over the past year. The journey of healing had been marked by moments of profound growth and self-discovery, each experience contributing to a deeper understanding of resilience and compassion. Looking towards the future, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and possibility. The road ahead was filled with infinite opportunities for growth and connection, shaped by the lessons learned and the relationships forged along the way. In the quiet moments of reflection, surrounded by the serenity of winter's embrace, I found solace, a testament to the enduring power of resilience, friendship, and the unwavering pursuit of authenticity. And as I looked towards the horizon where the promise of a new year awaited, I knew that the journey of healing and self-discovery was far from over. It was a lifelong commitment to living authentically, embracing change, and finding beauty in every season of life.